right? And instruments that led up to the guitar go back to like biblical days, and even before that. But this instrument is called the pipa. It's spelled P-I-P-A, okay? And it's a Chinese instrument, and it's called pipa because a long time ago, all Chinese stringed instruments were called pipas because when you pluck the strings, it sounds like pipa, 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 right? There's a lot of different string Chinese instruments. They all have different names now, but this one is still called a pipa. So the piece of paper I gave you is what Chinese music looks like. You saw what you know music looks like from what you were playing on your tin whistles, right? That's what music looks like for us in the West. Chinese music is written like this. And instead of having notes and lines and everything like that, they just have numbers to let you know what note you're playing. And well, notes are tones, right? So when you look at something, if there's like a 1, right, that would be 1, depending on the key. Do you know about that kind of stuff, keys? Okay. So if I was playing something in the key of C, then this would be 1. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's how that's all written. Okay. So I'm going to play what's on this. Right? See if you can follow it. Probably all Chinese to you, right? Okay. So that was just like a little introduction. There's all kinds of music you can play on this stuff. Like there's some Chinese music that's played fast. Right? Yes?
Where'd you get that?
I got this, it's a really long story, but I was studying this instrument in New York, and I was walking down the street in Queens, and I bumped into a Chinese woman who I literally bumped into her. I was walking around the corner, she was walking around the corner, and we bumped into each other, and she saw that I had a pipa. We started talking, and then that's how I got it. She just happened to have one for sale, and this was it. And this is a really, really, really good one. Because there's cheap ones. It's like guitars. There's cheap ones. There's really good ones. This is a really good one. Okay. So this has 4 strings, and it's tuned to A, D, E, A, which means nothing. You know, it's just that's what it's tuned. But it's A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, right? What numbers? They're all 4, right? So a lot of times stringed instruments, the strings are 4 notes apart, and that's how a lot of stringed instruments are. So when you play one instrument and you know that they're all 4 apart, you can relate anything and play other instruments. Okay, so that's the pipa. Now throughout the years, like it's gone through many different changes, and like before the pipa, there was another instrument called an oud, which is a Middle Eastern instrument. It looks like a watermelon on a stick. And what happened with the oud was, did you all learn about the Silk Road or the Silk Route yet? Yes. Okay. During the Silk Route period, when there was a lot of trade going between the Middle East and China, the oud was introduced to China. And they looked at the instrument, they listened to it, and they made their changes, and that's how the pipa came about. So throughout the years, other instruments went through similar changes and went all over the world, eventually becoming the guitar. Does anybody know where the guitar came from? Very good. Does anybody know what year? 1850 was when the first guitar was built.
That's it?
Sorry?
That's it?
That's it. There are other instruments similar to the guitar before that, but for whatever reasons, they kept making changes in them until they got this. So when you listen, how many people here like the guitar?
I have.
Okay. So when you listen to the guitar, you're really listening to Spanish music. So the first music that was written for the guitar was flamenco music. Has anybody heard of flamenco music, flamenco guitar? Okay, the word flamenco comes from two Danish words, flamenco, which means fugitive gypsies. The people who played the guitar were gypsies, and they were escaping from the Inquisition. Did you learn about that yet? Okay, you will. You look forward to that. And the people who played it were the gypsies, and the music they played on became known as the flamenco guitar. They were the fugitive gypsies. So I'm going to play a piece of flamenco guitar for you now. Like, this is the original rock and roll. If you listen to now, this is it. That's something that people would dance to and people would sing to, and there's all kinds of different kinds of flamenco. This is another kind of flamenco. So flamenco music was the first kind of music for the guitar. And then people wanted to start playing other kind of music on the guitar. So they really didn't start singing yet for the guitar, or singing with it. You could, but it was mostly used just as an instrumental music. And there were composers like Bach. Has anybody ever heard that name before? Beethoven, right? People like that. They didn't have guitars back then, but the music they wrote was being translated and transcribed for the guitar. And that became classical guitar. So this is a piece. This is a classical